Right, welcome back to the show. If you just joined us, this is Good Morning Ghana live on Metro TV. Time to have our conversation with the Minerals Commission, which is on every Thursday morning. And with me, as always, I'm on the show this morning is the Chief Executive Officer of the Minerals Commission, and he's already seated here. And he doesn't like it when I say he's a lawyer, okay? But he is a lawyer, Mr. Martin Ayisi. See you. Good morning.
Morning, Randy.
How are you?
It's okay. It's fine.
It's fine. You don't look too excited.
Am I excited?
You are.
I'm excited.
Okay. Okay. So the last time we were speaking about the new policy, and we started off with it, and I'm sure that we're going to be finishing soon on it. But I think a couple of days ago, I was looking at a material, and it just came to mind. I saw you walk into the studio at a time when the politicians were dealing with projects and all that. And a couple of days ago, I was looking at a material sent to me from your outfit, and it had to do with some projects that you have embarked on, some infrastructure projects. I want us to deal with some of them, and then we can continue with our discussion on the policy.
Right, Randy. Good morning.
Good morning.
Last week I couldn't make it because I think you were in Mali.
Yes, I was in Mali.
So hopefully it went well.
Yes.
And then we escaped a hair's breadth.
Yes.
In Kumasi. It just tells you there are no minnows in soccer.
True.
Yes. So that is it. Randy, I remember when we were having the discussion on lithium.
Yes.
One of the questions you put to me is how well are we being resourced to be able to handle this new mineral that we are going to see. And I think I told you that there's a lot government is doing by way of training and by way of giving us resources to put up structures so that we'll be able to regulate mining effectively and efficiently. So I mentioned a few projects, and I would like to talk about them before we discuss or do a recap of the mining policy. So let me start by saying this, and I repeat it wherever I go. Mining is now taking place in all the 16 regions of Ghana. All the 16 regions of Ghana, we have some kind of exploration and or mining going on. And you can only be effective and efficient if you are closer to the mining sites so that you can visit them regularly, you can monitor them and ensure that they do the right thing. So within the last 2-3 years, there have been 10 projects that have been lined up as far as office structures are concerned, as a way of making us efficient. So let me start by saying that Akimona was one of the offices we had when small-scale mining was legalized in 1989. And we're holed up in one room somewhere, maybe perhaps like the size of this studio. Today, I'm proud that, exactly or roughly a week today, we have commissioned that building. And I don't know whether the pictures are available. We would like the public to see it. That is a very good edifice to essentially regulate small-scale mining in that area. So miners who are around Akima Crosso, that is a neighboring constituency to that of Odan, those in around Akwetia and Odan proper, this new office is supposed to provide services for them. It's very well equipped. Practically almost all the engineers are there. It's connected to the internet 24/7. And it's quite a nice edifice. So it's all part of the attempts by the government to create an enabling environment for our miners to work very well. And I would like to, get the pictures. So that is it. It's rolling now. So that is the Minerals Commission Odan office. And it's one of the several measures government has put in place to equip the commission so that it will become very efficient. So that is the office for the regional inspector of mines, sorry, the district inspector of mines. And then other areas, the other engineers will also occupy. These are the washrooms and very good landscaping. We didn't have to wait and do the landscaping later. So morning briefings will be held here by the district inspector of mines before they set off to the field. So that is it. You can see the landscaping, beautifully done. We did some green garden and planted some trees around. This is just a week. And the interesting thing is that roughly in about 2-3 weeks from now, the same structure will be commissioned in BBNE. I'll tell you something interesting about the case of BBNE, that district. So that is the paramount chief, that's my good self. We need to go greet him in the palace. He came, attended the ceremony. So that's my minister and also the board chair. So it's like a short conference, you know, when you meet clients. So that's myself and the paramount chief was Achim Kotoku. He was quite grateful for this edifice. So that's the minister and the chief doing a tour of the various rooms and offices that have been provided. This is just a week. Randy, we are commissioning the same thing next week in Bibiani. And that Bibiani district, they call it Bibiani and also Bekwai district. I think that's where Ojia Hoho is the paramount chief. He's also the president of the regional National House of Chiefs. Randy, it will interest you to know that there are 3 big operations in the Bibiani area. So the new office will commission in about 2-3 weeks. It's just about 5 minutes away from the Bibiani mine. It's been there for ages. You know, for about 8 years it was not working. Finally, life came back. So it's both an underground and surface operations. They are working on the surface now. Very soon they'll develop the technology. And then, interestingly, 30 kilometers south, you have the Chirano mine, the same district. And then just around the same vicinity, you have the bauxite mine. So there's no better place you could have sited an office than that place. So that is the interesting thing about Bibiani. This one is the Kumasi office. This is 8-story building.
So this is a regional office.
Yeah. So that is so within this June window, 2 offices will be commissioned. Akimodan, which has just been commissioned, roughly towards the last end of June, we'll commission the Bibiani
Help me
office.
understand something.
Yes.
What's the commission structure? Do you have national, regional, and district, or national and district?
So we have the head office, which is in Accra, here, Cantonment where we sit. Then we have regional, district, and satellite offices.
Okay.
So wherever we have very huge operations, then we create a region.
Okay.
And the creation of our region.
Your regions are not based on the
Yes, our regions
political, geographical
yes,
regions.
our regions are not based on political and geographical regions. So I'll give you the best example.
Okay.
So until recently, we had a district office in Bole. Bole is not the regional capital of Savannah.
Okay.
It's Damango. Interesting, when my minister is an MP.
Okay.
Savannah is the biggest region in Ghana. But if you look at the map of Savannah, most of the resources...
In terms of landmass?
Yes, in terms of landmass.
Okay.
Most of the resources are in the Bole to the western corridor of Savannah, all the way Dakupe, Tinga, going all the way to the Bui area to the Ivorian border. So it doesn't make sense to put the office in Damango. You see, but the minister is from Damango. He said no. So this is the Savannah Regional Office, currently under construction in Bole. This is Savannah Regional Office. In about 3, 4, 5 months, it will be ready. We hope to commission it by maybe September, October. So Savannah now is a region because of what we are seeing there. I mean, massive. So why a region? One, because of several minerals and the activities. There are also small-scale offices there. Now, when we say a region, what it simply means is that you have all the full spectrum of the inspectors there. So, for example, you have several mining engineers there, okay? Now, in the Savannah area, there are many of the underground workings, many of the small-scale miners You know, it's underground. So it means that you need mining engineers who should be good in ventilation. And when they are going out for inspection, they go as a group. This is Tamale. So this is a Tamale office when we complete it. Tamale will be completed in July.
So why did you set up an office in Tamale?
Yes, Tamale because, one, in the northern region, of course, I've told you all the regions in Ghana, minerals are all over the place. Tamale because of the centrality. Now remember, Zabzuku, Tatali, we have huge iron ore deposits there. They've just been granted a lease. Now from Tamale, you can reach Wa, you can reach Bolga. So we have elevated Wa, which until recently was a district office, to a regional office. Construction is going on. We might finish by the first quarter of next year. Why? Because of Azuma. So Wa will start having a large-scale mine. I mean, they will start construction at the end of this year. So in 24 months, 24 months. So in 2026, you start having the production from the first large-scale mine in that area. Then Bolga, which is a district, has also been elevated to a regional office. It's just about 30 kilometers from Cardinal. But you have so many inspectors. So for example, if you have 2 mining engineers in Cardinal, you may have 5 in Tamale. Do you understand that? And you may have several in Wa because there are small scale people there around. If you take Boli, you have those who will be dealing with the large scale, who will be dealing with small scale. So I'll give you an example. Kumasi has always been a regional office. It's just by Rattray Park. It's an 8-story building. Now, Kumasi is supposed to handle 4 operations. So you have Asanko mine. That's a huge operation.
Where is Asanko?
Asanko is in the Mansoon Kwanta area there, Mansoon Edubia, that area. That's a huge mine. Then you have the biggest gold mine in Ghana, Newmont Ahafo. Now we call it Ahafo South because 30 kilometers north of that corridor, a very huge mine, almost the size of Cardinal, is going up. But that will be ready a year from now, a new gold mine. That will be our second new gold mine after Cardinal. So the Kumasi office will handle Ahafo North, Ahafo South, Asanko, and Obuasi. Then you have a lot of small-scale operations in the Obuasi area there and within that corridor. So we have an office actually by the mine, and it shares wall with EPA. So those will be handling small-scale operations. So that is how we create the region. Somebody will ask, what mining is taking place in Kumasi? Mining is not taking place in Kumasi proper because of accessibility and ease of movement. Now, it's a shame that all these years we had only 1 lab in Takoradi. 1 lab. You know, the lab is to test all kinds of equipment, chemicals and things. We test. That's the only way we can ensure that they are doing the right thing. It's only in Takoradi. It's been there all these years. And because mining typically has been biased towards that southwestern corridor. You know, Awaso 1941, manganese, you know, Takwa, etc. But with these 4 huge operations in Kumasi, you don't expect Newmont, Asanko and Co. to be going all the way to Takoradi. It will make us inefficient. So we are building a new lab attached to the Kumasi office to handle the middle bed. Remember, small scale has also become sophisticated. So it cannot be just an ordinary way of regulating them. So if you take small scale too, we also need to be testing things. You know, you pick up soil. That's how you get to know the mercury levels and all those things. Now, Tamale will have a lab there. The lab is to deal with Cardinal, Namdini, Azuma and Co. Because I'm not expecting inspectors to be leaving Kumasi or the miners up north to be coming to Tamale and be testing. Now, this is Takwa.
So Kumasi now has a lab?
Kumasi has a lab. If they show the building, I mean, so this is Tamale. It should be ready sometime in August. Yes, that is it. It's almost getting ready. When the Kumasi's picture starts showing, I'll show you. It's just a lab by it. And that will handle the middle belt. And then we couldn't. I mean, some of us in the sector we saw this coming. Typically, mining has been biased towards the south, but now it's clear that the northern areas are the new frontiers now. So, yes. So look at the picture, Randy. So this is the Kumasi office.
Yes.
Yeah, we should be done by October. The tall structure there is where the inspectors will be, and then on the left is the lab.
Okay.
Yes, it's quite a massive.
The one-story structure.
Yeah, it's not one story. It's not one story. It appears so, but
it's like a ground floor.
Yes,
okay.
I think about 2 or 3 stories. So there's a lab there, and then we also have a museum. You know, that's what we are bad at doing. Okay, we need to also tell our story. So this should be ready by October, and then we'll move from a rental premise, which you cannot even locate us, to this place now. So here you have the inspectors, mechanical. You have the inspectors. So the mechanical people deal with machinery. They have the ventilation engineers, because there's underground in Subika. That's a half of. There's underground in Obuasi. You have metallurgists who will be in charge of the processing plant. We'll have the chemists, those who have read chemistry, chemical engineering, and who will be in the lab to be testing. So they will all be holed up there. We have a lot of them already. So we'll move some people, you know, some from head office and other regions. So this is Kumasi. And then there's another structure that will start going up in Takwa sometime next month. So in all, we have about 10 offices. Bibiani, Akimoda, those are the district ones. Then there's also one going on in Chebi. We are constructing an office in Chebi. The same structure like the Akimoda one. Why? Because between Greater Accra and Koforidua, that corridor, which a lot of small-scale activities have been going on. We don't have any, offices there. So people from Koforidua office, or sometimes Accra, have to come and be servicing them. Or activities in Chebi, that area, then they have to come from Akimoda. It makes you inefficient. So we hope by the end of the year that will be up and doing. So that is the Tamale office, quite beautiful. Again, this is Savannah. So Randy, within a space of 3 years, Savannah, Boga have been elevated to regional offices, and structures are going up. Most of them will be completed end of this year, next year. Then, so that's it. So Boga, Savannah, that's Boli, and then Tamale. Then you have Akimoda, you have Bebieni, you have Chebi, and then you have Kumasi. So this is...
So Ghana has 16 regions.
We have 16 regions.
How many regions does the Minerals Commission have?
How many regions? We are in all the regions. So mention the region, I'll tell you where the office is. Except one.
Volta.
Except one. Volta, we have an office in Ho and Aplau.
A regional office?
Yes,
district
yes,
office.
in Ho and Aplau. Oti, we are in Damba and Pasa.
These are district offices?
No, satellite.
Okay, satellite
when activity starts, then we create a satellite office. Satellite. And then satellite is later upgraded to a district as things pick up.
So why are you in Aplau?
Where are we now?
Why?
Oh, sun winning.
Okay.
In fact, the best sun in Ghana comes from Volta.
Okay.
It will interest you to know. It's their gold. So Ketu North, Ketu South, Aplau, all those areas, it's all sun wind. And they smuggle them to Togo.
But you've not found anything beyond sand?
Beyond sand, they have some of the finest clay deposits that are good for clinker. Especially if you go to Town area there, Cantonment, that area, very beautiful. Lovely clay deposits. Okay, so we have 2 companies that have picked up licenses there to mine them and then use it to produce clinker. Okay, so there are a lot of interesting stuff there. A lot of industrial
clinker for cement.
Yes, to reduce this thing. You have yes, in Volta region, most of the minerals there are the kind of industrial minerals that we have. Somebody is doing exploration for phosphate.
Where?
In the company is called First Gear.
Now, which area?
In the south there, the Anglo area there. I'm not surprised because you see, minerals or geology don't have geographical boundaries. So Togo is a major producer of phosphate.
Okay.
You see the connection? They are on the eastern corridor of Ghana. So they are just tracing it to see whether the geology runs through. And the results are looking very good.
People talk about a spine, a certain spine. So if gold is found somewhere, for example, they can look at, you can be able to trace it up somewhere.
Yes, Randy, if you find, I mean, it goes across. Like you take Argentina and Chile.
It's like a belt.
Yes, that is it. So you take Argentina and Chile, they have this so-called Pascua Lama project. It's a good project. So I think Barry Corporation wanted it. So that's the first time I'm seeing a mine that's owned by a company that is trans-boundary. It's quite common in the oil and gas sector. You understand? So then you do joint development. But I think that project is suffering a lot because of some snow and stuff there. They put that on hold. So minerals, they don't respect boundary. If you look at the copper mine, okay, the copper deposit of Zambia, it just runs straight into DRC. So if you look at where the copper deposits are and then you look at DRC, you can understand why the colonial government did that kind of thing. You take here, let me also take here. So there's no respecter of boundaries when it comes to minerals. So I'll tell you something interesting. Granted, you find some huge deposit of gold here in let's say
Media.
here.
Yes.
Trust me, all your neighbors perhaps will start selling their houses and moving out.
Okay.
Because somebody will say, oh, let me see whether I can do some satellites. And they'll say, okay, maybe across the road here or all the way to those places, there will be gold or that kind of. It doesn't respect boundary. You go to Sapeliga and just across Burkina Faso, they are just mining.
Is there anything in Accra?
Oh, of course, quarries.
That's all.
Not that's all. I'm seeing lithium applications.
Accra.
In Greater Accra.
Which part?
And I don't want you to say that when we say Accra, you see, sometimes people forget that Accra is a region because that's the capital. But remember the Shai Osudoku area, Pram Pram, and Dodowa, those areas all. Okay? And you tend to find some of these lithium in these granitic rocks or outcrops. So I've seen a couple of applications in outside the periphery of Accra. People are applying for lithium and to see whether they can find something. It's quite interesting.
What about OT?
OT, a lot of iron ore occurrences, but a lot of work is required.
When you say occurrences, I'm sure that you're talking geology. But
yes, so let me explain.
Yes.
You see, you can go to an area and by the deployment of technology, you can see that the area is showing evidence or prospect that maybe there is gold or this mineral there. It may not be commercial. It's just occurrences. Okay.
Just like oil and gas.
It's just like sometimes some diseases, they will tell you it's in your system, but it's not up to the point that will let you fall sick. So maybe falling sick here is not up to the point that it will be commercial. So geological survey report shows that there are a lot of deposits of iron ore in the OT area. In the OT area, I know that's for a fact. It's always been there, but it's not that people are pick up licenses and are doing exploration. Not. It will take some time for them to develop it into some serious reserves or resource. You know, the occurrence will have to work on it and turn into some resource, and then further do some work and then convert that into a reserve, and then you apply for feasibility. So you go through a lot of processes. Now, apart from iron ore, the place is also showing occurrences of PGM.
What's that?
Platinum group of minerals.
Which minerals are these?
Platinum, you know, palladium, iridium, those things there. I mean, we're seeing that. There's a lot in this country.
Is there a global demand for them?
Yes, lithium, yes. Platinum, yes, they use it a lot. Yes, in South Africa has about 80% of the world's reserves. I mean, South Africa and Zimbabwe alone controls close to about 90%. And almost all the platinum produced in South Africa are refined in South Africa. So we're seeing that. And then we're seeing some gold.
In the OT region?
Yes, my late father used to tell me that there's some gold somewhere. He used to mention it, and then I just discovered that in my area there, where actually I come from, there is gold, Unfortunately, where it is located is not something that I will encourage with mine.
Where?
Because it's under the water body.
Oh.
Yes. You see, if it is oil, it is straightforward. You see oil, you just drill and then bring the oil up. But if you want to go for the gold that is under the water and under the bed, that means that you have to take off the water. What it means, you have to divert the water. Do you understand? We cannot allow that kind of thing. So for now, there's no galamsey. You can't have galamsey there because I've told them it won't happen. And it's quite deep-seated.
You told them in your capacity as a chief for Minerals Commission.
In my capacity as a chief, I said that's not possible. But even the way it is, it doesn't lend itself to the brim and prayer kind of thing where people can just go scoop and then pan, as our ancestors used to do, or even just put the champagne and mount it. This one is under the bedrock and the water bodies on it. So it's not that easy. The prayer and brim, people go into it, mount these floating platforms and then start pumping the water. In the one I'm talking about, it's not like that. So it's not something that can easily lend itself to galamsey. Other than that, I'm sure by now, perhaps they could do it.
What are the geologists saying about the Kwando area?
Amfuega, Kwando, and all those stretch, they have huge potential for clay. Clay, feldspar, and all those things that are normally used for ceramics.
Okay.
If you go to Amfuega, they've been doing this clay stuff. So we want geological survey to check the quality to see what type of clay they have there and what can it be used for. So you go to Twyford. Twyford
in the western region.
Yeah, in the western region, just around the Enchamban area there. Their annual turnover is $300 million. They do ceramics, tiles, etc. They've started even exporting duty-free to China. It's an American company. They use 5 minerals. They use clay, they use tack, limestone, kaolin, and feldspar. The kaolin is normally got from Ghana bauxite because there's the hand, so they track it. The same company is now applying for clay in the town area there because they realize that the research in their lab shows that the clay there is good for the ceramics. They even do these sanitary bowls and stuff like that. So Volta region has a huge potential for industrial minerals and then setting up of these industries that can use these minerals to process them, do all kinds of things.
Okay, so one of our viewers, Mark, wants me to ask you about diamonds.
Yes, diamond has always been in Akwetia, that area. And then we had this diamond mine, which was state-owned, it was divested. And then the company that took over, and that's the problem we have. You don't invest in exploration. To the extent that the prices are high, you keep mining. And that's how come all the state-owned mines were run down. It's sometimes I feel sad as a Ghanaian when I look at a monster mine like Takwa, which decades ago belongs to the people of this country, 100%, under the then State Gold Mining Corporation. Persia, Dunkwa Continental, these were mines that Achampo took over. So in the middle 70s and co, these were run by state, corporation. Just like the way you had the Georg, the Georg family, Georg Pharmaceutical, Georg Futu, and then by the late 70s or early 80s, we ran all of them down. Do you understand? So we are our own enemies. And then South Africans come here and then buy Takwa, is it $3 million or something dollars? And now they are making billions. Last year, Takwa produced over 500,000 ounces. Today's 10, this year, that's $1 billion. So we have been reckless as a nation.
Okay.
So part of our problems we have has nothing to do with the West. It's our own doing. The West, they don't run Ghana Airways. The West, they don't run Georg Footwear and other state institutions. We run them down and then we sell them now. Now we have decided that we'll not go through that route again. So why don't you have opportunities like they go on the stock exchange, the state through its sovereign wealth fund taking a stake, and then allow professionals to run the place. Because you see, yes, security and stuff, those things are for government, but it's not easy. You can just have a handful of countries in the world where the state run things properly. And I'll tell you something, and it will shock you. You go to Chile, they have a state-owned mine called a state-owned corporation called Codelco. It's the biggest producer of copper in the world. So they exist side by side, the BHPs, the Rotito and Co. At least that's one thing you remember Pinochet for. When he privatized the sector, they kept some of the juicy copper mines for the state-owned. And once they appoint the board members, okay, they give them the freedom to run the place. Unfortunately, in Africa, it doesn't work that way. Yeah, so that's what happened. So the diamonds is still there. There's a mine there that we're still looking for investors so that they can take it over. But other than that, most of the production now comes from small scale. So you go to Jadim and all those areas around Akwetia, there are several thousands of small scale miners who are working there. And now they'll be regulated by the Kimodan office. That is it. But that diamond mine still has a lot of potential. That is it. And then we're seeing titanium, columbite, and all those things.
In the Akwetia area?
Not in Eastern region and across Ghana, even some parts of Volta and Eastern region. And most of these things are also in forest reserves. So the policy that we are discussing, you know something? I want to have an opportunity, Randy, yes. I want to have an opportunity. Maybe I'll try it, see whether it works. I want to have an opportunity.
Yes.
I'll sit here.
Yes.
Then I want to see the NDC candidate.
Yes. And
then Dr. Baumia.
Yes.
And then I'll spend maybe 2 hours on them.
Yes.
On mining forest reserves. And get their take.
Okay.
Other than that, for now, let me repeat. Yes. There's no law which says you can't mine in forest reserves.
Okay.
No. And Ghana bauxite, 1941.
So if there's no law, why are we not mining?
Oh, but you don't do things in a vacuum.
Okay.
Okay? You can't do
is there a law that regulates how mining is done in
big
forest
time,
reserves?
Big time. So if you can put together a team of geologists, because I want you to lead that and go and see, because you are the one who has been asking the question.
Yes.
I'll take you to Newmont, Achim. And fortunately, there are videos and pictures of before and after, where how mining has been done in forest reserves and it has been reclaimed. Chirano, part of it is in forest reserves. The whole of Ghana bauxite, Awaso, is forest reserve. The entire concession. And we've been mining that since 1941. Okay? So the Ghana bauxite, Chirano, Newmont...
Those are all underground?
No, bauxite is open pit.
Okay.
Yes. And then and we fly over those places and said, wow, we still have serious forests in Ghana. Chirano is underground. They have some open pit somewhere. And then... Achim is mainly open pit. They now want to go underground. You understand that? And the protocols are quite strict. I mean, the rules to operate. So, you see, that's the question I've been asking all along. Because, you see, whatever is happening in the forest now, what is being documented, 36, now 38 forests, where it has been documented that there is some evidence of attack. It's all illegal mining. Because they don't document proper mining going on. I mean, those are regulated. About 36 of them. And it started small, now it's gone from 36 to about 30. I said there are over 200 or so of them. The entire savannah is mainly underground. So you go to Bole, Dakrupe, Tinga, Waka Waka. As we speak now, and as we are talking from this studio, there are several thousands of small-scale miners who are working underground. Some of them have been licensed, like the folks in Tinga and Dakrupe. Some of them have not been licensed, they are in forest reserve. Okay? And I'm only happy that perhaps God has decided to treat the North with a different eye. Because many of the small-scale workings there happen to be underground. And then Randy, with this new shift, this new craze up north, the kind of thing we are seeing in Savannah, the kind of gold deposit we are seeing in Savannah, okay? But for the fact that many of the workings in the Bole area, Tinga area, underground, will have been seeing the Pra and Cobra, you see, so you see the Black Water, Yes, they got there. In fact, just this week, there have been a lot of operations to take them off. Maybe we didn't have time, I'll show you pictures to take them off there. So it means that, of course, there are a few surface, small-scale surface operations in the north. I'm not saying it's 100% underground, okay? So you go to El International, just by rate, most of the things used to be underground. So the north, if you like, for want of a better word, quote and unquote, has been saved from the kind of massive devastation we've seen in the south. Primarily because of the nature of the ore body, and of course, Randy, you can also run away from history. Okay, look at these Ashanti brothers. They've been using gold all these years. They were not doing the way we do it now. Those days, they just take this panning stuff, go pan, no mercury. You just scoop, and then somebody can stand the other side, you stand here, or even just something. And then they'll just shake it, the gold will show up, or when it rains behind their houses, they take it and they make all these beautiful things. Then we saw this mercury thing just 30, 40 years ago. Actually, it was even stated in the law that they could use mercury retort and all those things. So the nature of the ore body, and then the history behind mining, which started massively in the south. So it tells you that if we sit back, we don't hurry, and then move quickly. Hence, these new offices that the government is building, okay, hire more inspectors so that we get a grip of the thing. We'll be in total trouble. We'll just see being overwhelmed. I want to make 3 more comments. $4.2 billion. And this is very important because it dovetails into the local content discussion that we had. $4.2 billion was repatriated by the large-scale mines into the country last year. The total receipts was 7.6 billion. Okay? About 2.1 or so came from small scale. So if you like, you can say about $5.4 billion worth of gold came from the large scale. Officially, Randy, 4.2 billion was returned or repatriated. Okay? Many of them through the commercial banks. So I have a question, and I want the general public to understand this. You see that statistics that has just been poured out. Now we are saying, because you asked me this question some time ago, we are saying that 60% of the receipts from the sale of minerals should go through not just the commercial banks, but should go through banks whose shareholders and directors are Ghanaians. So now I'm being told, okay, officially, that 4.2 billion was returned to this country. It means that we're going over the data now to see whether 60% of the 4.2, that's roughly over $2 billion, went through Ghana Commercial Bank, went through National Investment Bank, went through Agricultural Development Bank, and then the other banks that the Bank of Ghana gave us as per the letter we wrote to them. Randy, that's the only way you build a nation. So you see, that's why I'm telling you that the local content team, you have to do your research properly, and some of the things you just have to, if you like, let me use the word, force it. So here you are being told that 4.2 billion was repatriated. Now, many of these repatriation funds, salaries, paying supplies, and all those who provide all kinds of mine support services to them. If you don't put it in your local content that the bulk of the money should circulate through your banks that are owned by Ghanaians, do you know where they will take the money? ABSA, Standard Chartered. I don't know whether it still exists.
Yes.
With all due respect to them. Stanbic. Okay, Stanbic is South African. And Goldfields is South Africa. Anglo Gold Ashanti is South Africa. So if you don't insist that the sale of minerals from Iduaprim, Takwa, Obuasi, okay, should at least 60%, and these are over $1 billion or so, should go through the likes of ADB, NIB, Commercial Bank. They'll run everything through Stanbic. Because they'll tell you it is easier for them and all those. These days, some of the excuses you hear is that, some of the local banks don't have certain types of technology that allows them to do certain things. They brought that to my attention. I'll tell the commercial banks, Ghana Commercial Bank, ADB and Co, to also develop that technology, because then it becomes an excuse for them to say, I cannot meet the 60% threshold. So it means that our officers are now spending time poring over the data. Calculate 60% of 4.2 billion. And if a whole year, commercial bank, for example, is fortunate to get, let's say, $400 million running through it as salary, even if they were charging 0.1%, do you know how much money they will make? But a government will say, come man, my bet. Nothing will go through the Ghanaian owned banks. We've done the same for insurance too. You understand? Yeah. They were pushing back. We said, well, this is our country. There are certain things Americans will not tolerate. You see, you cannot be given a license to go and explore and mine uranium in Russia over their dead body because it's treated as a strategic mineral. The same thing in France. You see, so we're getting there.
Right.
So if they brought 4.2 billion into the country, okay, out of 5.6, because take out the small scale, everything comes in. Royalties last year was barely 300. Okay, more money was spent on fuel. Again, 2,000. We'll discuss this report now because we are going over them next week. So just one example, 2023 annual report by the Minerals Commission. 13 companies spent 435 million on fuel. Dollars. If you add lubricant, you are talking about 500 billion.
Million.
Sorry, $500 million. Okay? If you add, what do you call it, lubricants, so fuel and lubricants alone, close to $500 million. Okay? We didn't get more than $300 million in royalties from all the mining operations. So why do you sit here and say charge 20% royalty? You should be asking yourself, this 4.2 billion, how many of it, when it comes to this country, will go through Ghanaian-owned banks?
Right.
That is the argument. But you see, when you don't come and sit here and pour out these figures and explain to the general public will not understand that government of Ghana didn't get more than $300 million in royalties. It didn't get more than that. But 12 companies spent close to $500 million on fuel and lubricants. Do you know the taxes on fuel? Okay, so I'm going to check the taxes on fuel and lubricants. Those NHIL, those various taxes. And I will not be surprised that it could even be like 100 or 200 million. You understand? So taxes on fuel alone could rival or surpass royalty. Mines are expanding. And don't forget that even now the fuel supply is done by Ghanaians. So 2-3 years ago, we stopped it. That is why Total always call me their number one enemy. Yes, so if you had independence in 1957, you don't own the mines. You are now beginning to own the mines. Okay? Through MIF angle, through this local equity and things. Achim, we have told them that if there's no local content component, forget it. We are not to tell you who you should sell to. Do all your technical and financial stuff. But at the end of the day, the government of Ghana wants to see the extent of local content in it. So are you going to allow MIF to take a stake? Yes, if they want to. Are you going to allow some Ghanaians to take a stake? That is what must happen. We're tired of this 10% free carriage in shares over the years. So, Randy, the last statement I want to make is that I want us to go back to Professor Frimpong Boateng's report. Professor Frimpong Boateng's report. It's not an attack. I'm not here to attack him. But you see, if you look at all these offices, 10 of them, that government is, constructing for the Minerals Commission. The fact that we went online 2002, okay, people can now file for applications.
I mean 2022.
Yes, 2022. That's when we went fully online, but there were test runs in 2021. Okay, so Saturday, Sunday, 12 midnight, and companies can attest to the fact that they even receive responses to emails midnight, weekends, and Saturday. So you see that when that report came out, I think, is it around 2022 or 2021?
It did the report in the first quarter of 2021.
Yes. And that was the time government started putting in place all these facilities to equip Minerals Commission. Because let me be very categorical about two statements that he made. He said the Minerals Commission was poorly equipped. Then it was stated that, and that one was very categorical, Inspectorate Division was dysfunctional. That's what he said. Randy, it's not the case. Because you see, at the time those reports were being written, all these things were being done by government. Now, I'm very proud. I'm seeing new offices. As I speak to you now, we have 10 Minerals Commission staff studying in Australia. Some are working in mines. Why? Because I heard this in your Malay, is it your TV debate this morning? It's not pleasant to the ears of 35 million Ghanaians. So I don't want to sit here. Then I know very well that worst case scenario, the last quarter of this year, Atlantic Lithium, through their local subsidiary, Barari DV, will start the construction of a lithium mine in Ewoya. It will take 22 months, according to their feasibility, submitted to the Minerals Commission. So 24 months, or say 2 years. So let's say the last quarter of 2026, that mine will be ready, just like Azuma. Randy, there is no lithium mine in Ghana. There is no lithium mine in Ghana. So you have 2 years, which is long enough to take your inspectors to Australia, which produces half of the world's lithium, for training, to go and work in lithium processing plants, etc. So by the time lithium, Barari DV will start producing maybe Christmas time 2026 or the first quarter of 2027, your inspectors have knowledge of lithium mine. They've seen it. They've seen lithium processing plant. Yes, mining is basic. Okay, there are certain things irrespective of the mineral you must know. But they have not seen it before. Yeah. So do we wait and say, come 2027, if they are short-changing us or things are not being done properly in the accident, then we'll have a committee of inquiry, which is typical of us. I'm sure the number of committees of inquiry from Nkrumah to now is more than our population that have been done. Then they'll say, oh, Minerals Commission inspectors don't have knowledge about lithium mine. Even the metallurgists have not seen a processing plant before, not under my watch. So as many as about 8, 3 more will go. 2 of them metallurgists are in Australia learning. So by the time they will come, we are ready. The district assembly have given us 2 plots of land at Infantiman, assembly, just in Saltpond. So the Akim or that thing that you see here will go up. That building will not take more than 2 years to construct. So by the time they will start producing lithium, we have the Akim or that type of structure in Saltpond. We have the land already.
All right.
The inspectors will come back with knowledge.
Okay.
This is what we've not been doing as a nation.
Okay.
And we are always, we look, if we joke, the situation in the north will overtake us. And that is one thing I need to praise my minister for. He said, hey, I don't want to go down in history that I was a minister for lands and natural resources for 4 years, and then I left this mess in Savannah or in the north. That is it, so quickly. He said, no. And I was shocked. That day I looked into my minister's face. I said, Minister, you are the MP for Damango. Damango is the regional capital.
He said no to what?
No he said, no, take the regional office to where and be closer to the mining operations.
Oh, okay.
How many MPs will do that?
Okay.
Okay. Right. I'm sure maybe 9 out of 10 will say, let me put the regional office in Damango because Damango is the regional capital. He said, no, take the regional office closer to the mining operations. So today, the regional office for Savannah is symbolic, and that's the picture I showed you. By September, October, we'll commission it.
Right. Okay. So thanks for joining me. Next week, we will continue with the policy, the new policy that has been discussed at the moment. Okay. So thanks, Mr. Ayisi, for joining me once again. Thanks for watching. And up next is my